Arsenal rock up to 3-point lane, take the points and bounce. But not only that, Arsenal were able to break a record that not even the great Arsene Wenger was able to do during his tenure. So Mikel Arteta deserves huge praise. We're going to get into it, but before we do, just do me a favour, very quickly hit like on this video. So, what a game that was. Kind of the nerves at the end were like crazy because we was our own worst enemy, weren't we? 3-0 up, cruising. And then kind of these Arsenal players like to put the stress on us sometimes in some of these big games. And that's exactly what happened in this one. Like I said, let me know your thoughts on the game. I'm just buzzing with the 3 points. You know, and there is something about when there's jeopardy in a game, 3-2 down, the last 10 minutes you're defending for your life, essentially. If we lost that game or drew that game, Arsenal basically are out of this Premier League title race. So I just think the players done great. We're going to talk about all the players individually. There were some standout performances for me and maybe a couple of guys who honestly struggled in that game. So let me know your thoughts on that. But, how good was it when Saka scored that first goal? And that was after Tottenham had missed a couple of chances as well. The game was strange, wasn't it? Because Arsenal 3-0 up at half-time, but Tottenham definitely had their chances as well. So to go up, 3-0 at half-time, I thought that was brilliant. A lot of people thought the game was done. At 2-0, I was kind of thinking if we get a third, then the game might just be done. But you know what it's like in these games. If you give them one goal with like half an hour left, that's going to be a very nervy ending. And that's exactly how we saw it play out. But then, after Saka scored, not Saka scored, he whipped that corner in and they scored the own goal. Romero did have a couple of chances as well. They had the Van der Ven goal, ruled offside. I've heard some people coming out and saying, I can't believe it's offside. How is that offside? Let me tell you how it's offside, all right? I've got a good way to describe this. It's offside because it's offside. It's very clearly just offside. You don't need me to explain it. It's offside because it's clearly offside. So that's that one done. And then they had the penalty shout from Kulusevski, who was diving all evening. There was that one incident in particular where he just falls to the floor, and it's just like, it's embarrassing. It was never a penalty in a million years. And then Havertz gets the ball, and he plays a Pirlo-esque pass to Saka, who takes it in his stride as he's running. Saka, so direct, runs it at Davis, and he only ever wants to do one thing when Bukayo Saka's in that position. Just don't let him in on his left foot. Ben Davis opens the door. Bukayo Saka gladly accepts the invitation, cuts on his left foot, and then it's curtains. 2-0, it's pandemonium. And I liked Saka in this game because he was obviously getting stick. The home end were chanting, you let your country down, and Bukayo Saka's giving it the old ear roll. And I just like Saka's performance in this. I actually think he stood up to the task. Bukayo Saka was very, very good. So at that point, you're 2-0 up, and that's when I'm thinking, listen, let's get another goal and we could wrap this up by half time. And it comes, another set piece. Ben White, for me, was the main guy, the main culprit who allowed these goals to happen. Ben White had the job that Ben White does so great, and he has done great all season. Stand in front of the goalkeeper and give him hell. Don't let him move. Don't let him breathe. Put him off as much as you can. And that's exactly what Ben White done in this situation. Have you all seen the clips where Ben White's like winding the goalkeeper up? He's like pretending to undo his glove and everything. That's just what he does. There's so much housery to Ben White's game when Arsenal are on them set pieces. I've said it many times on this channel. I just love watching Ben White when we're on corners. And their keeper didn't know how to deal with it. Ben White does it so smartly. He kind of stands in the way, so he's not actually committing a foul. He's just standing in the goalkeeper's way. And then just before the player gets it, he moves out the way, so the goalkeeper has enough time to react if he wants to. But then by that time, it's too late anyway, and the ball's in the back of the net. So I just think Ben White deserves massive credit. For me, he could well be Arsenal's best defender this year. In 2024, Ben White has been exceptional for Arsenal, not only in the way he prepares Arsenal for set pieces, but his defensive ability, his way of getting forward, just his consistency is definitely worth a mention. So then 3-0 up in the second half. And like I said, that first half, if there was one team who played better, it might, or not played better, they certainly had more chances, Tottenham, in that first half. Like I said, Romero could have had a hat-trick in the first half. From a centre-half, he missed so many chances, and then he does get his goal. Because David Raya makes an absolute hash of it. I don't know what he's doing. I think he's trying to chip it over their Tottenham man to the centre mid, but it doesn't pay off at all. He kind of just stabs at it, and it bobbles 10 feet in front of him to Romero, who is in a position that I would never understand why. Arsenal have got the ball. Why is Romero on the edge of our box? Falls to Romero, and to be fair, he finishes it quite nicely. So at 3-1, you know, you're starting to panic a little bit, but you're kind of thinking, guys, we're still 3-1. We're Arsenal. We've got the best defence in the league, which not trying to brag or say we should win the game because of that, but it kind of gives you some reassurance, doesn't it? You're trying to put everything into context. You go 3-1 down. So to try and calm the nerves, I'm saying to myself, we have a great defence. I can't see us conceding another 2 goals. And then the penalty shout comes. I don't know how the referee didn't see it in real time, because to me it was a very clear-cut penalty. He boots him right in the unholies, clear as day, you know. And then Son takes the penalty and he scores after being pretty much nullified by Gabriel and Saliba the whole game. He had that one chance where he blasted it over and it landed in my back garden, but apart from that, Son had no chances. Buries it 3-2. And then you're starting to think, no, you know, you go from a position where you're 3-0 up and you're starting to think, right, let's not necessarily look ahead, but we've got Bournemouth coming up. And then, you go 3-2 down, and then it's just a totally different mind frame, isn't it? It's like an emotional roller coaster. And now I'm pacing the living room. The dog don't know what to do with himself. Me and my son are just like, please don't let this happen. We was crying out for Odegaard to come off, not because he's been bad, but I wanted to see Kivior introduced into the game. So when that sub was made, kind of reassured me more. You know, we're going to have 5 at the back. I can't see Tottenham breaking us down. And to be fair, I don't think they had too many chances where they could have drew the game. I think Arsenal saw the game out brilliantly. And there were just some great performances in that. I think I've picked out 3 in particular. I want to know who your favourite performers were. But for me, number 1, we'll start from 3 actually. 3 was Gabriel. I thought Gabriel was incredible. I mean, he might have had a point in the game where he made a stray pass. But in terms of being aggressive and winning the ball, even at times following his man and winning the ball high up to allow Arsenal to start the attacks, Gabriel to me was just so impressive. So I've got to give a shout out to Gabriel. He came 3rd for me. 2nd was Bukayo Saka. I think he benefited massively from Thomas Partey being in this game. And Thomas Partey narrowly misses out on this top 3 for me, by the way. I thought Thomas Partey was incredible. There was one time where he maybe got caught sitting on the ball for a bit too long, where he could have released and it allowed Tottenham to have an attack. But apart from that, just the way he starts his attack with a Jorginho, I think he's good at starting attacks centrally through the middle. But I think Partey has a way of starting the attacks, going out wide and finding Saka. It just allows Saka so much more room, so much more time to attack to attack the left back. So Thomas Partey definitely deserves a mention. But number 2 for me was Bukayo Saka. I thought he was deadly all game. He obviously made the cross for the corner where they scored the own goal, and the way he took his goal as well. Big moment. He was away in a massive game, North London derby, title on the line for us anyway, because if we lose it, it's gone. So yeah, Bukayo Saka stood up and was counted at a time where maybe he hasn't done that so much recently. So Bukayo Saka. But for me, the man of the match was undoubtedly Kai Havertz. That was one of the best number 9 performances I've seen all season. There was nothing in that game that he didn't do. He was dropping in deep. He was holding up the ball. He was spraying passes. He was going in behind. He was having legs. And this, you know, for such a big guy, you know, Havertz is the biggest guy on our team. He's the tallest player on Arsenal's team, and he can shift a bit. Look, he's not as fast as a Martinelli or something, but when he's sort of going past the player, he was even pulling out a couple of skills. I was just very impressed by that Havertz performance. He seems to be going from strength to strength. Do Arsenal still need a striker? That's definitely going to be a topic for another video. In my opinion, we probably do, but there's some different variables at play in that one, so we're definitely going to discuss that later on, so make sure you're subscribed. But yeah, I'm just so happy that we got that win. You know, we was able to not only put the pressure on Man City for their game against Forest, which I never really predicted them to lose anyway. You know, it's always going to be a difficult game for Forest, Man City going there home or away. I know Man City lost their last season and we was kind of, you know, laying some hope in that, in the hopes that they could do it again this season. But it was never going to happen twice in a row. But yeah, it's going to be difficult now for Man City, in my opinion. I mean, listen to these games Man City have got coming up, okay? They got Wolves, they got Fulham away, they got Tottenham away, then they got West Ham at home. That's 4 quite difficult games. I don't get... You know, let's just listen to Arsenal. Arsenal, we got... excuse me, Bournemouth at home, we got United away, then we got Everton at home. So United away is obviously the one that sticks out, but Tottenham away is probably a harder game than United away. So now it goes from Arsenal having the hardest run in. We've now pretty much got all of our difficult games out of the way. Like I said, I'm never going to be cocky. I'm never going to say these games should be easy wins for Arsenal. But if we're playing at 100%, these games coming up should be winnable for Arsenal. Like I said, that one at Old Trafford, of course, sticks out. It's been a notoriously difficult place for Arsenal to go. But I'm just looking at their Man City fixtures. And maybe I'm just putting too much hope in it. But Wolves, Fulham away, Tottenham away, and West Ham, they are 4 very difficult teams. So I'm just hoping Man City can drop points. Of course, that's what we need. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts if you think Man City will drop points. But more importantly, let me know your thoughts on the game. How good does it feel to come out victorious in a game like that where so much was riding on it? Arsenal lost this game. It was done. We could not have won the league if Arsenal lost or drew this game. Tottenham knew that, and they was trying their best to try and nullify Arsenal, but they just couldn't do it. 3-2 to the Arsenal. Brilliant result. The title hopes are still alive, people. Don't listen to the negative people out there who are trying to say, oh, Arteta still needs to go and everything like that. We're looking good, people. We are on the right tracks. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, like I said, just do me the favour of giving me a thumbs up on this video. Just like it and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.